Hello and welcome to the End-to-End Utilities Scenario Showcase video. My name is Stephen Chittenden. I work for SAP Solution Team, and today we're going to be looking at how SAP can help the utilities businesses. To start off with, we're going to take a quick look at what our SAP strategy is in delivering the intelligent enterprise. Of course, we have our intelligent suite, S/4HANA, which holds all our core data, our digital core, but we have lines of business which cover customer experience, supply chain, people engagement, and of course our network and spend management. This allows us to deliver an intelligent suite on our digital platform with intelligent technologies. To take that one step further, I'd like to introduce some of the different areas we're going to cover today. We're going to be covering SAP Hybris, and some of the C for the customer experience side of things. We're going to take a quick look at some integrated business planning, how we can use the Ariba network to reach out to our vendors and actually collaborate with them, and of course all of this information going back into our intelligence suite to allow us to monitor and ensure that we have the correct data across our entire enterprise. So to start off with, we're going to tell a little story, and our story begins with Mrs. Jones. Mrs. Jones is moving house from interstate, and what she wants to do is to take a look at what her energy usage is going to be and find a new power provider in the new house and of course initiate the move. So Mrs. Jones goes online and she starts taking a look at some of the different options out there. One of which catches her eye is from Blue Energy. Blue Energy allows us to look at how we can get a full month's worth of power for free. They're running a promotion via SAP Hybris to actually get out there and put this promotion out to their customers, and Mrs. Jones has come across that. She can also see that they are into the environmental side of things and ensure that they use the right kind of plan to get the right type of environmental energy for her and her family. So she looks at the different plans and compares them, and she looks at signing up. So she's happy with the plan, she knows what she wants to do, so now she needs to sign up, and she goes through a simple sign up process online and of course selecting the right energy plan for her and her family. Once she's completed the basic information for the sign up, she can then take a look at the different plan and review and follow what's happening, and of course enter all the address information all online, and finally work out what date she's going to be actually moving so they can ensure that the meter is fitted and everything is up and running for the move. Now what she also sees is that there's a loyalty program as well, and when she joins that loyalty program she gets a free tablet that she can actually monitor and take a look at her energy power on, and we'll take a look at that a little later. So what's happened now is, now she's signed up, the inventory planner notices that we've got an unexpected spike in demand for some of our smart meters due to the promotion that's been planned by Blue Energy. So we may have a potential issue. What the system does here is, by monitoring these alerts, the alerts can actually tell us straight away that we have potential issues when it comes to supply. So when I click into my alerts, I can actually see the analytics straight away telling me how many alerts I've got, what are the issues, and what's actually happening from it. Now, I need to address this issue, so what I can do is take a look at this information in detail using SAP IBP's solution to look at different scenarios around what's the best way of actually solving this issue. And the scenario comparisons allow me to look at what are the best options for my organization. I can look at the most profitable way of getting things. For instance, for the smart meters, I may want to move them around my organization if I have some spares, or I may want to actually go out and procure them, and I can run scenarios to see which is the best option for me to fulfill this. I can also get the system to run target inventory for my components and things like that. So using some smart algorithms and intelligent systems to go out and actually look at what is the optimized inventory that I should be holding based on my demand, even with this spike in demand. So I can run that now, and the system will tell me this is how many I need to get. Now, what then happens is, we obviously have looked at the scenario, and it seems that getting more smart meters is the best way forward and most profitable for Blue Energy. So Dave, our inventory planner, needs to talk to our procurement guys to say, hey, we need some new smart meters here. Can we go out and source some, please? So what our procurement team now do is they initiate a project to actually run an RFP to get some new smart meters. So what they do here is they start the project, they can put in there an expected value, saving, and pull together the whole team within this project to ensure that they have all the right information from start to finish through this process. So what then happens is we can select from a number of vendors that we have out there, and we can add and invite participants to participate in this RFP. We can add lots of information in this RFP. Some examples you're seeing here is the different policies and procedures and performance from the vendors can be actually asked. It's not just about the pricing of the meterings. We can actually put lots of other information in there. Now, what has happened in this particular case is the RFPs have come back, and two of our vendors, we couldn't really decide which ones were the best, so because their company profiles and their performance was fantastic. So we down selected to two individual vendors, and we ran an online auction between those two vendors to get the best price possible. Once that auction was completed, what we were able to do is simply by using a couple of clicks, once the project was complete, we can create a contract from the resulting sourcing event, and the contract contains all the information about what happened during the sourcing event, but also the operational information, so that now we go out and actually start using the contract, we can actually monitor that and see how it's performing. Let's take a quick look at that. So if I just go into here, I can actually see straight away how many of my contracts are used in the system, and all the analytics that are operationally coming from the system are presented to me in SAP S/4HANA. I can see all my purchasing information in here, but if I want to drill down and see more of this information, I can go into an overview screen simply by clicking on a procurement overview in this particular case, and here I can see all of the information I want to see in one spot. And for instance, let's say I wanted to go down to more information around some of these items. I can simply go straight into monitor my contracts, for instance, and when I click on this, it takes me down to that operational transactional layer, because of course within S/4HANA we have everything in one space. So it's really nice to be able to have everything analytical and obviously transactional in there. Now we have the contract in place. What we do next is the system will run our materials replenishment planning and send a purchase order through to our vendor. The view you're looking at here is the actual vendor themselves seeing what happens next. So the vendor can either use obviously their own ERP system to process that purchase order that's now been sent to them via the Ariba network, or they can use this portal to actually monitor and provide information about that purchase order going through. So what we can see here are new purchase orders that have come through to the vendors, but in this particular case I've got some orders to ship as well, and what I can do is I can simply, from this order that's come through, select the ship notification, and then I can process the shipping notification, giving it some information around the picking ID, what date is it going to be shipped, what date are we expecting it to arrive, and other really important information such as what's the shipping quantity, batch IDs, production dates, expiry dates, and we can even add serial numbers in here. So if the serial numbers for the parts are to be received, then we can add them in here, which is great. What this allows me to do once I've actually sent this shipping notification is the users who are receiving the information, as in the Blue Energy in this particular case, what they can do is they can receive it in a far easier way because all the information is already there. So let's move to that next stage now. We're in the warehouse here, and the monitors are arrived, and we need to scan them into the warehouse. What we're going to see here is a short video that I've taken off an iPad showing the use of a mobile device actually scanning in and looking at doing the goods receipt on a mobile device. So here's a short video which I took straight off an iPad. As you can see, as I turn the iPad around, just to show that it is actually a tablet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to post the goods receipt for that purchase order that's been created. First of all, I need to search for the purchase order, and select the purchase order from the list. And what will happen now is the system will say, here it is, here's the purchase order. I can add any information I wish around the delivery note and things like that. I can choose where I want to place that those smart meters. In this case, I only have one storage location, that's fine. I can add other information like change the amount and things like that. What I can also do, of course, is use the inbuilt technology within the actual device itself to scan and record documents. So I can scan barcodes, I can record documentation, or even take photos of the status of the items to ensure that they're in good measure when they are to be received. And finally, when I'm happy with everything, all I have to do is hit post on my iPad, and of course, the system now posts that into stock. Now, what I should also say is, once that's posted into stock, of course, all of this is hitting our actual reporting layer, as we saw a few moments ago in here. And what I can also do is I can monitor now the performance of those vendors, and I can even run things like supply chain overviews to see how the vendors are performing, and whether we have any other stock issues in the system. So do we have any other stock outages? Do I have any issues with my planned demand versus my actual sales, and what's actually going on with my maintenance and my MRO materials? So everything is, of course, posted always back to the intelligent core, which is S/4HANA. So moving on, the next stage is, of course, we need to actually go and do the work. Our service technician will already be looking at some of the work that's out there, and what happens next is the work order that was being created automatically, the meeting appointment to ensure that the meter is being installed in a timely fashion, and of course to meet the move-in date that Mrs. Jones has asked for. So the technician can look at their iPad or iPhone and then see what we've got to actually install. Go and pick up the parts from the warehouse, which the distribution guys would have already created for them, ready to go. Go and install the meter and confirm that the meter is actually being installed. Now, while this is happening, Mrs. Jones can also log on and see exactly where is that technician, which is really handy for meter installations, but also for any issues that may arise in the future, such as breakdowns or faults that may happen with the meter, or anything else that happens to be going on, which is run by Blue Energy. So now the meter is installed, it's sending information back, and everything's happy. Mrs. Jones can now look at her own iPad and even the tablet that was given to her as part of the loyalty program, and start to see what's actually happening with her energy. So she can pay her bills, she can look at usage, she can see any outages, any notifications, and of course we've already touched on this idea of the services, any breakdowns when they're being serviced. So lots and lots of ability for her to actually see exactly what's going on with her accounts. If she wants to, she can also go online and see these types of information, so she can monitor what's happening and see what's going on. Look at the usage of what's happening from the meter going through, and all those types of things. Now, in this scenario, Mrs. Jones has noticed that she's using a lot of power during the day. So what she decides to do is to look into the idea of getting some solar power installed. So she looks at the availability of the solar power, and she seems pretty happy with the offer that's coming out from Blue Energy. While she's paying her bill, she can see the offer coming up there, and she can include that in her bill, which is fantastic. So what she can do next is get that solar power installed. And now, of course, the energy bills get reduced, and she's a happy customer. So finally, she leaves some customer feedback. She's so happy with the service she's received from Blue Energy and how much money she's saved thanks to all the great offers and rates and the new solar array that she has. She posts about her experience on social media, and her friends and family looking to actually move into Blue Energy because of the great service that she's received. So that was a story about how we went from obviously a customer going in there and getting a good experience, getting solar power, and then posting on social media thanks to that great experience. So to summarize and in conclusion, a happy customer and business growth thanks to the intelligent enterprise. So what we were using there, of course, is our intelligence suite, S/4HANA as the digital core. We're looking at our digital platform and extending it with the use of Hybris and Ariba and other elements. And of course, getting those intelligent technologies through the use of mobile devices and all the other technologies that are everyday use there to improve the customer experience, both for Blue Energy and of course the end customer. Thank you very much for your time.